This is Jonathan Agatha here for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Anthony Crolla here in Dublin. Anthony, big fight this Saturday, Taylor against Cameron. How excited are you?
I'm super excited. Speaking to both girls just today, and both are super up for it, both look fantastic. And it's just a great fight. It's one of the very best fights that could be made in women's boxing, and I think there's so many people that would have allowed Katie Taylor to have a nice homecoming fight, but I think that's not in her sort of dictionary vocabulary. A nice easy night, and she's picked the toughest of challenges, the very toughest of challenges, and it's going to be a great fight Saturday night. I don't see how it can't not be.
When sort of you were preparing for the big fights you were involved in, did your mindset change when you knew it was, like, for example, the Lomachenko fight? Were you thinking this is my hardest fight?
Yeah, of course, certain opponents you're thinking, listen, you'll treat every opponent like it's the hardest fight of your life, but you're watching certain things on certain fighters, and it's obvious that certain fighters do things very well, where there won't be as many mistakes that they make, so it's going to be a tougher night if they perform to the best. So I'm pretty sure both camps would have studied each of them. They would have. You imagine, so obviously they're both going to have a plan. They're both going to know what they do well, or think they know what they do well, and how they expect them to come out on the night, what they're going to look for. So on the night, I think that's the number one way. I know you can say that about most fights, but I think Saturday night more than ever, the person who carries out the plan to the best, how they've set it out, becomes the winner on Saturday night.
Got to ask you about the other big fight mentioned before, Loma against Devin Haney. How'd you see it going?
Do you know what? It's some night of boxing, and it's Saturday. Do you know what? I think it's mad that Lomachenko's quite a big underdog, with the bookmakers and stuff like that, and a lot of people in boxing. I think we're going to see one more great performance. So I think Haney's a fantastic fighter, and I think I've said it before, you can see with the size, you can see how Teofimo Lopez used his size to beat Lomachenko, and does Haney carry out similar tactics? But I also think Haney's absolutely huge at the weight, huge as Lopez was. But I just think that could come into play, and I think we see one more great performance. I think the angles is a nightmare for anyone with Lomachenko, but I think Saturday night we see him take over a little bit more after a cagey start. 4-5 starts taking over, and he pulls away on points.
Fair to say you faced him when he was in his absolute prime best. So, do you think there has been a clear decline?
It's hard, because when he fought, was it Lopez last time out? There's no doubt he did. It won't Vince, the ruthless Lomachenko that we've seen in the past. But Lopez is a good fighter, and also I think it's a good dress rehearsal for Haney. In stature, size, maybe there's some thinking behind there. But I think that he does look like he's slowed a tiny bit. There's no denying that. And listen, there is also the argument: is Loma alive? Could he still make super feather? Who knows? Maybe not now. That was happening, and so I think that that could come into play. That could come into play. Obviously, if you just but I do believe we're going to see one more great performance.
Sure. And if there was anything that's particularly surprised you when you fought Loma, was there anything? Is he different when you're in there?
Yeah, of course. And I made a mistake of giving up the centre of the ring like they did, and going on the back foot early on. But so it sort of judged the distance, and I could never get back into it. So I had hardly any success whatsoever. But distance, you knew was going to be good. Didn't waste much, hit spaces well. He's just an unbelievable fighter.
Two more. If Tank fights the winner of this fight, say Haney or Loma, how do you see him faring against both?
Good question. I think a lot more will depend on what Lomachenko we see on Saturday night. If I think Lomachenko at his peak, I'd back him against anyone. I believe that. It's a tough one. I think I'd favour Tank against Haney again, because he will land at some point. I'm just not sure how much longer Haney's got left at the weight. Maybe I'm wrong.
They've been saying he might go up afterwards.
So I believe I'd probably back Tank with him and Lomachenko. I'd probably just say Lomachenko still.
Final question. I was speaking to Golovkin's manager over there, Tom Loeffler, and I was saying to him, you know, would a Billy Joe Saunders fight still be interesting to him and things like that? He doesn't know because he doesn't have a belt. What do you make of Billy Joe coming back, and do you think he can still win a world title?
Listen, Billy Joe's an unbelievable talent. He's one of the best talents we've seen on British shores in the past. Certainly my time of boxing, I remember seeing him from a schoolboy, just how good he was, and followed his rise right through junior, going to Olympics at, I think it was 18 years old. It's hard to say such a thing now when we've not seen him so big. We've not seen him in action. Obviously, he gained a tremendous amount of weight, but he's getting himself back in shape. So, if Billy Joe's got near what he had before he took the break from boxing, there's a great chance he wins a world title because he's that good. But obviously, only time will tell.
Anthony, Preston's about to start, so I appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of time in Ireland.